Hey everyone and welcome to Let's Try Tyranny. So, Tyranny is the newest RPG from Obsidian, where you play as the bad guy. Basically, there was a war between the forces of good and the forces of evil, and evil won. You work for Kyros the Overlord, and that's basically the gist of it. So, the game is coming out this Thursday, which is November the 10th, and I figured I'll take a look. Now, this is a story-based game, which means this video will obviously contain spoilers. If you don't want to see any spoilers, then you probably shouldn't watch. Just a fair warning in advance. So, let's start a new game then, shall we? There are 4 difficulty levels, ranging from story mode, through normal, hard, and Path of the Damned, where enemies receive bonuses to most stats, and are supposed to have more efficient AI. You can also turn on expert mode, which disables some helper features in the game, and you can play on Iron Man, which is, in this case, called Trial of Iron.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kyros the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kyros' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and 2 of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kyros' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the 2 generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kyros' minions. Tyranny brings Kyros' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kyros' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
So that's the basic story. You play as the Fatebinder, and here we can create our character. I won't be spending too much time on character creation, but I'll show you all the options that are available here. So here we can choose our gender and body type. Then we can change our appearance. Let's see how many options there are. Not that many, it seems. Let's have a look. Alright, that will do. We can choose hair color. We can change our voice.
Will do. Trouble's afoot. Good work. You learn something every day.
And some tattoos. Change their colors as well. Oh, there are quite a few. Alright, that will do. And we can also choose our portrait. There are a few available. Quite a few, actually. Alright, good enough. And then we can choose our history, so how we joined Kyros' army. There are 8 different options available, each one with their own backstory, which will affect the choices in the game and the dialogues. So I'll hover over each one of them if you want to pause and read them. Because I won't be reading all of them right now, that would take a while. So let's pick Hunter, for example, why not? And then we can choose our primary expertise. So which combat style we were trained in. Sword and shield, great sword, short bow, shock spells, vigor spells, javelin, dual wielding, unarmed, frost spells, and atrophy spells. Let's say 200, plus 6 200, plus 5 parry, plus 5 athletics. Sure, why not? We can choose that. And our appearance will change based on what we picked. And we can also choose an ability, Sunder or Cleave. Let's have a look. Reduces target's armor, right click for details. For 20 seconds. Crush, pierce and slash armor reduced by 5. You can hover over any of these and check the details, so that is quite nice. It's pretty easy to get info on various abilities from what I saw already. You can get all the details that you like. But yeah, let's stick to Greatsword and let's say we'll go for Cleave. A sweeping cone attack that hits multiple nearby targets. Armor penetration 5, 4.5 seconds recovery, 9 to 12 slash pierce damage, and 30-second cooldown. Alright, that will do. And then we can choose our secondary expertise. And we could go for some spells, we could go for short bow. Let's maybe go for some spells, why not? How good are these? Freeze the target, that sounds promising. What else do we have here? Fill the target with a surge of greatness, granting them a bonus to might and vitality. Shock spells. Channel an explosive surge of electrical energy, releasing it all at once at a nearby enemy, interrupting them and sending them flying back. And what's this? That's a debuff basically. I think I like Frozen Grasp. So let's go for that, why not? And then we can change our colors if we want to. That will do. We can also change our banner. Like so. And the colors of the banner. Good enough. And our name, obviously. Marbs. And then we can pick our attributes. We can reduce them below 10 if we want to. 8 is the minimum, as far as I know. And I think that's the minimum in everything. And these are our key attributes based on the choices we made so far. So let's say we'll raise our might, wits, and resolve. Something like this. 14 might. And here are the skills. We got 20 points available. And these are the key skills. Again, based on our choices so far. Let's maybe get 40 to 100 weapons. Raise athletics. Lore to 30. Parry to 30. Some of these attributes will also affect dialogue choices. So lore definitely will, for example. And subterfuge will also affect dialogue options. Control frost, let's say 30. Alright, looks good. And finally, we got something called Conquest. Conquest mode basically gives you some options where you can decide how your character reacted to various events before the game started. But you can also use Quick Start, which gives you a few templates. Conquest gives you the greatest control over how your character will work, and it's mostly about how the two factions will treat you in the game. The Scarlet Chorus and the Disfavored. Most of the options that you get during the Conquest mode involve your various interactions with these two factions. And it takes around 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. We'll use Quick Start, which gives you a list of templates. So, that's the Quick Start, and we can either go neutral, we can go with the Disfavored, And we can go with the Scarlet Chorus. This will maximize our relationship with one of these factions. Or we can go neutral, if we want to. Let's say we'll go with the disfavored. So here are all the decisions that we made. A short summary. This also gives us an ability, Warrior's Respite. And that's the character creation.
The year is 431, and Kyros' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kyros lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kyros have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance, but months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kyros has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kyros backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kyros' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kyros' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
So this is where the game starts. And here we are. Let's have a chat. Aurora. So, with each NPC, we can see which faction they belong to and what our relation with that faction is. Kyros the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. So, in every conversation, there will be certain highlighted keywords, and you can hover over them to see more details. So this was our conquest decision, based on the template that we picked. We can see what this NPC is exactly. That's the leader of the Scarlet Chorus. We can see more info about the Oathbreakers. And this will happen in a lot of conversations. It's quite convenient. I like it. So, I know the Archons are expecting you. Don't let me wax nostalgically about the old days. I'm in a hurry to deliver a message. I come bearing an edict of Kyros. And yeah, the highlighted text will also happen in your dialogue options, which is quite nice. And we do have one option because we have lore of at least 20. Can you hear the hum in the air, that glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kyros' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley. Your senses see more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things. But if that was Kyros' magic, and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kyros have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisted bones? Well, we can say nothing. We can say why we're here exactly. I'm in a hurry to deliver the message. Well, you've traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... More runners, third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep running to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from the outside of the valley. Well, they won't be doing that, will they? Alright, so now we got combat. So combat in Tyranny is quite similar to combat in Pillars of Eternity. There are some improvements, but it's basically pausable real-time. Let's attack this guy. There's still the concept of disengaging from combat. You can actually see which character exactly this guy is engaged with. Like so. So currently he's engaged with her, which means there's no penalty for moving out of melee range. If he was engaged with us, then he would get an attack of opportunity if I moved out of his melee range. Here are all the abilities we have. Our attributes, so dodge, parry, endurance defense, will defense, magic defense, and armor. We can pause at any time we want. We can give our character orders. So let's say we'll use Frost, like so. And we can see the timer, the cooldown right here, before our next attack. And our general health status, indicated by the green thingy. If we hover over this guy, we can see that he has 61 health. So now he's engaged with us, and if I moved out of his melee range, he would attack me, which is indicated by the red cursor. If I aim at the ground anywhere outside of his melee range. So we should definitely stay in melee. In this case, we can speed up and use fast mode. This is the fastest you can go. In this case, it's just one guy, so it's not exactly super exciting. The first few fights are to show how combat actually works. It's kind of a combat tutorial, more or less. We can loot him. We got a whetstone, 2 armor penetrated by attacks for 300 seconds. And we got potion of protection. Yep, we'll take those. And let's move on. You get all the info about combat over here, so if you want to read that, feel free to pause and do so. It's mostly obvious things, and things I already covered. You can hover over these attributes to see what exactly they do, and right-click for more details. And yeah, there are 4 possible results from any attack: hit, critical hit, graze, and miss. A crit increases your damage, and a graze reduces it. And with each attack you gain experience in the weapon skills used to make that attack. Even a miss will grant some experience. So that's something to keep in mind.
Can't do that.
And now we have to move through the rubble. Squeeze through the gap or move boulders. We got 30 athletics, so we can move the boulders. Because why not? And that will kill one guy, which wouldn't have happened if we didn't move the boulder. Alright, now we can actually try cleave. So let's do that. We can choose the cone, so that should hit both. There we go. And we can focus on one of them, the one at 62%. And maybe use Frozen Grasp on the other. Let's see how well that's going to work. Here it is. I don't think that worked quite like we wanted it to. Can we see some details over here? Let's have a look. Here, so here's the exact calculation. You can see how exactly each stat affects it. Anyway, let's finish this fight, shall we? We also got the ability from our faction, but I don't think we're going to use that here now. It's a pretty good one, though. Stand your ground in the face of defeat. During this time you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. I like that. Alright, not much point using cleave now. We'll just use Frost instead. That sounds like a good idea. And fast mode, because this is not the most exciting fight of all times. There. They are dead. Let's pick up the loot. We got a javelin. Alright, not the kind of weapon we have any kind of expertise in, but alright. Stone shield. So this guy is with the disfavored. Don't bother with me, go down the pass. You're wounded, and it's not trivial. This but a scratch I've seen twice as worse 10 times over. Alright? If you'll let me help. I said I'm fine. And yeah, here we can see why exactly he's fine. Because the Archon of War basically protects his soldiers from injury and fatigue. Alright, let's move on then. And see what awaits us next. More loot. Waking Death will revive when defeated for 120 seconds. That's interesting. And here comes another fight.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. So she belongs to the Scarlet Chorus. This one's crazy. Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Fatebinder. Here at last. Care to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery?
Yep, save something for me. Alright, so she's our first companion, and she joined our party. She's a warrior skilled in both melee and ranged, and we can check out her skills. That's a melee. Burning Arrow. Launch a burning arrow that falls on fire. Alright, so that's a ranged attack. Blood-soaked stone. Oh yeah, that's a team attack, sort of. That's a combo that we can use with two characters. So if we use that, then we can target one of these guys, and the two characters will coordinate a joint attack on that person, which didn't go very well from the looks of it. Yep, we missed. Roll 1, alright. Never mind. Yeah, you can see what the various rolls will do. So 1 to 5 will be a miss, 6 to 28 will be a graze, 29 to 95 will be a hit, and 96 to 100 will be a crit. And we rolled a 1. What is this, XCOM? Alright. Well, let's try cleave, shall we? Like so, that should be pretty good. And you can also turn on the AI, party AI. You don't have to control every single character directly, but obviously you might want to do that a lot of the time, because your choices might be better than the AI choices, and likely will be most of the time. But you don't have to. You can leave it to the AI. Alright, one more person.
Will do.
The team attack has a pretty long cooldown. Alright, let's grab the loot.
I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent. I'm versed, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian Guard we killed didn't come alone.
Alright, join the battle. I'm ready when you are. Not so fast. First explain what you're doing here.
The voices of Nerat told me to intercept you at Edgering Ruins before you busied yourself solving all of the camp's problems. Guess I was too late. You're due for a meeting with the Archons, but we should handle the small matter of this ambush first.
Why are the Vendrian Guard attacking now?
My guess? The Vendrian Guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That, or they're really, really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
Alright, what's your role in the army?
A Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed.
Alright, fair
Most
enough.
of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
Alright, so we can dismiss her, but nah.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching. No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the voices of Nerat!
Alright, let's grab the loot then. And there's quite a lot. Sun Soldier's shield, Scarlet Fury helm, Scroll, Lesser Sigil of Reaching Grasp. We do not have enough skill to learn that apparently. Lesser Healing Potion, I'm sure that will be useful sooner or later, and I can't click the last one. Alright, let's move on then, shall we? This way. And yeah, companions. Oh yeah, we can click on the AI behavior to select how exactly they should behave. But you don't have that much control over it. It's just a generic passive, defend myself, defend party, and aggressive. Alright, let's move on then. Yes, you are also coming. More dudes. And they don't like us. Stand aside or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. There is no escape, and for Oathbreakers, nor surrender. I applaud your bravery, but I implore you to end this foolishness and lay down your arms. There is no escape. These fools don't know when to stop. I like that. Charge. And we got some reinforcements. Sucks to be these guys.
Come at.
Alright. Let's use the ranged attack, shall we? Need to move a little bit closer first. Yep, we'll target this guy, and we can also use Cleave. That should hit 2 of them. There, he's burning now. And we can use the team attack, or the combo, whatever you want to call it. Don't miss this time. Did we miss? Nope, we did not miss. Here it is. Whole calculation. We rolled a 43. So that's a regular hit. Alright, what else do we have here? Regular melee attack. Not much point is in Cleave anymore. Actually, yeah, we should use Cleave. There are 3 dudes over here. That's definitely a good idea. We might have to use a healing potion. Nope, we won't have to use a healing potion. They are almost all dead. Come on. There. Well, that was simpler than I thought it will be. Come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Hey, I'd like to grab the loot first. What did we get? Broken helmet and the javelin or something like that. Yep, a javelin. Can we actually equip anything that we got? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, companion combos, that's what I was talking about. So what do we have here? That's the edict that we got. Are these actually better? Let's have a look. 4% deflection, plus 0.4 recovery, plus 2 disengagement defense. Yeah, these are slightly better, so we'll use them. Remove a hostile effect on kill. Interesting. And that's pretty much it. Do we have anything else? Not really. Party stash. Scarlet Fury Helm, 5% deflection. Is that actually better? I think it's slightly better. Or is it? Yeah, it's slightly better. I guess we'll use that then. Here. Looks fancy. And that's about it. Yep, that's about it. Alright, let's move on.
Right.
See what's going on here. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. The Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Skewer him. Worry not for me. Gravenash will protect. The disfavored officer winces blood, sipping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade. With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Justice's matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Alright, so we do have 30 athletics, which means we can lower our weapon, then charge forward and wrest the knife from him. Sure, why not? You gained the favor with the Scarlet Chorus, and with the disfavored. Alright, and some experience. The Oathbreaker cracks a wide smile as you lower your weapon. That's right, now the rest of you drop those weapons. With his attention on the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches out with his dagger to slay Drastos, but your hand is already on his wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained grasp. Tyrell... And he's dead. Kyros be praised. That Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Cairn himself. Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was my last. From the look of it, guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might make it out. We found a few scraps of parchment on the bodies. Okay. I have no time for this, I should be on my way to see the Archons. All that training and Gravenash doesn't teach you to read. Examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in various written scripts, the parchments explain the Vengeance Guard's desire to overthrow Kyros' Archons and rout the armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vengeance well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to the fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails down slope for a few hours. You'll see the camp fired leagues away. Can't miss it. Alright, and that's it. Is there anything else we can do around here? We can pick up the loot. What did we get? There's a weapon, a two-handed weapon too. That might be better than ours. Okay, +1 quickness, that will also be useful. Alright then, let's have a look. We will definitely equip that. And let's check the weapon. Is it actually better than ours? Yeah, it is actually better. A little bit of extra DPS. Hold on, where's the weapon? Oh yeah, down here, weapon sets. We'll use that then. Sounds good?
On it.
Alright, let's take a look around, see if there's anything else we can do in this area. No, I don't want to sneak. I guess we can talk with these guys. The prisoner says his name's Tarkis Demos. Then I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family's been a driving force in the Vengeance Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever's left of the Tarkis clan. All must be given a chance to find absolution in service to the Scarlet Chorus. And you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be a slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. We'd like you to take prisoners, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol, they never return. Deflecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. While I insist this Oathbreaker be taken to Voices of the Rat, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. Alright, well, I see where this is going. So we can basically get more favor with the disfavored, which sounds weird, or with the Scarlet Chorus. Since we already picked the disfavored start, I think it makes sense to execute him. And yeah, we gained favor with the disfavored, and we gained wrath with the Scarlet Chorus. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. That we do. Alright, and now I think we're done in this area. There are a few more people we can talk with. From the looks of it, now we can grab the loot that we missed earlier. A sword. And oh, that looked like an upgrade. And it certainly is. Alright, anything else? Or can we get out of here? Looks like that's it, basically. Alright, so I'm going to make a cut here. This is basically the first area of Tyranny. And I think it's a pretty decent introduction to the game. Next up, we got the meeting with the Archons. But for now, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.